What is up guys, Alex here. In this video I have the Apple iPhone SE 2020 product red. In this video I'll be talking about its specs, the screen, I'll be doing a quick sound test for the speakers, and basically what it comes with, and the chip and the chipset and the GPU as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's get on into the video. So first things first, the screen. The screen is a Retina IPS LCD capacitive touch screen with 16 million colors. And it's also a 4.7 inch screen, and it has a 750 by 1334 pixels, 16.9 screen to body ratio with a 326 ppi density. So the screen is not all that bad. You can definitely watch videos at a pretty good high quality, unlike the iPhone XR, which doesn't have that good quality on the screen. It doesn't have 720p. This one does though, but it does draw back that it's a 4.7 inch screen, and that's probably because it's a special edition iPhone SE. I'll also be conducting a water test on this phone because the phone is IP67 dust and water resistant up to 1 meter and 30 minutes. The phone also has 625 nits of max brightness, and that's advertised. It could have less or it could have more, but that's what Apple told us, 625 nits of brightness. Now, a lot of things that people have been waiting for is that the GPU, it has the latest Apple GPU. It has a A13 Bionic chip from Apple. So this phone has pretty much the latest Apple iPhone chip from the I think 11 Pro Max. So this phone is actually not all that bad. I also did a benchmark, showing you guys the benchmark right now. Not all that bad. It has a Apple GPU with 4-core graphics, so it can run a Call of Duty Mobile as well. I also did a game test on that. It can run Call of Duty Mobile, stuff like that. The battery I also talked about, but I'll tell you guys about the battery when I'm doing the game test. So this phone, I got the 64GB version with 4GB, 3GB of RAM. So in the benchmark, if you can see the benchmark that it's not doing that good, is because I added the 3GB of RAM version. If you want more RAM, well, sorry, because you can get more storage, but you can't get more RAM with this phone, so it's a downside. Again, phone pretty good for its price. It's definitely like a medium flagship, like the Redmi Note 9S. Of course, the Redmi Note 9S is better, has more cameras. This phone, bad thing about this phone, because Apple decided to do this, is that it doesn't have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and that's bad. Now let's do a quick sound test, guys. So now with the sound test with this phone does have stereo surround sound, so I actually want to hear it. I actually haven't heard how loud this phone is. And yeah, let's hear in 3, 2, and 1.
All around this empty town, I'm searching for the lost and found. But you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare, 'cause the flames will burn us. Thought you were the one for me. That's why I give you everything.
So as you guys can hear, the phone is pretty loud. Honestly, not one of the loudest phones I've heard. You obviously have the OnePlus 7 Pro, Note 9S, iPhone 11 Pro Max, Note 10 Plus, and S20 Plus as well. So this phone is not all that loud, but it's not all that bad. You can definitely let that slide for the price of this phone. Now let's talk about the cameras. So the back camera is a 12 megapixel camera, 2160p with 30 frames per second. So it's not, not that bad. You can definitely change the frames, 60 frames per second, but 1080p. So if you want faster frames when you're recording, you do have to lower down the quality a little bit of the camera. Again, not bad. Definitely pretty good camera in my opinion. Definitely not with the high flagships up there. Now the front camera, it's a 7 megapixel 1080 by 30 fps. Again, not one of the best, but it definitely takes some good looking pictures out of the bunch. I don't think this one has portrait mode, but it does have a quad LED dual tone flash, HDR panorama, and yeah, those are pretty much, I think, all the modes that it has. I wish it would have had portrait mode, because a lot of people use portrait mode with these phones, and portrait mode adds that depth to the camera. Now the battery is an 1821 milliamp hour battery. Not that big, definitely bigger than the Motorola Razr, like the bendable phone, the Motorola Razr bendable phone, because that one had like 1200, I believe. I didn't get to test it out, but I really wanted to. So this one has a bigger battery than that phone, I believe. I'm not really sure. Alright guys, so I'll be running a CPU benchmark right now, and let's see how fast it goes. And I'm also going to talk about some of the specs. So the specs of this phone, it has an Apple A13 Bionic chip, which is one of the latest ones that Apple brings, of course, with the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And honestly, this phone is not all that bad. Doesn't have a headphone jack, which is a bad thing. I honestly wish Apple didn't take away the headphone jack. Here you have the timer, 24 seconds. See how fast it is going. Again, this is a 3GB version, and it's actually not doing that bad with the A13 Bionic chip. Also, on the game test, we'll see how good that chip does when I'm playing Call of Duty Mobile. Again, running that Retina display and 625 nits of brightness, and I think I do have it at max brightness. Yeah, there you go. See right there, max brightness. Cameras, we'll talk about them in a little bit, and also the battery. But yeah, this is the benchmark, and let's see how fast it goes. Alright guys, so as you guys can see, it did finish. It finished around 22 minutes and 18 seconds. You guys can see that it just showed you the pictures right there. So let's look at the single core score. The single core score is a 5,464, and the multi-core score is 13 to 668. So that's not all that bad. Definitely on the high number scales, definitely with some of the high flagships like from Samsung and Apple. So this phone is not all that bad. It did definitely get a little bit hot around the chip, which I believe is like right here with the A13 Bionic. So this phone is not all that bad. Now we're gonna go into the game test and playing Call of Duty Mobile. Alright guys, so here we go with the game test for the iPhone SE. Under the game test, I will also talk about some of the specs that this phone has. But yeah, we are playing Call of Duty Mobile. This game honestly runs pretty good with the CPU and the GPU of the phone. Let's see if I can get some kills over here. A triple? Ooh, double. Triple kill, let's go. But yeah, this phone again has an Apple A13 Bionic chip. So the GPU is a hexa-core, I believe. No, it's not a hexa-core. It's an Apple GPU with 4-core graphics. So I'm pretty sure this phone can run Fortnite, but at very low frames and not that good quality. Even though this is mobile, and honestly, the specs of this phone are pretty good for its price. Definitely could have been a little bit better. I mean, you do have the Jh0nx, which is like $200 and has all the high-end specs. Basically the high-end specs that the S20 Plus has and stuff like that. S20 Ultra. Let me get some kills right here. The battery is I believe a 1,121 milliamp hour battery for this phone, and it's pretty good. The phone is not heating up whatsoever. A little bit, but not so you can notice it. Not like steering wheel where it hurts pretty much, or like burning your fingers. It does have a back glass, so I don't know how well that protects you from the heat when the chip gets hot when you're playing these games like this, but it's honestly running it pretty smoothly. I have it at max brightness as well right there. Well, I thought I had it at max brightness, but it has max brightness, and the phone is running pretty well. Not all that bad and not all that good at the same time. I'm running Call of Duty Mobile. Pretty good frames. I wouldn't say 60, I would definitely say 30 frames, but a stable 30 frames per second. But yeah, definitely stable frames. Honestly, I was definitely very surprised with this phone and what this phone can basically do. Honestly, this phone really amazes me every time, because the price is not like those medium flagships, I don't know really how to call it, from like Samsung, or like the A71 and or the A51 basically, or the Jh0nx from Redmi or Xiaomi basically. Those have really high-end specs. Well, the A71 from Samsung and the Jh0nx, those have high-end specs, and they're pretty cheap. So anyone who wants to buy these phones, they could just go ahead and buy it, because I think the companies made them, so if you don't have a lot of money, you can definitely buy the phones when you want them to. So I like that. I like that how they add that. I don't like the fact that Apple doesn't have a 3.5mm headphone jack. That's a bad thing. I guess they wanted to make more money for the dongles that they had to sell. The screen does bother me a little bit because I'm always pressing the scope in button by accident like that. Yeah, that kind of bothers me a little bit. I'm just gonna get 2 more kills and then let's go on into the conclusion. All right, let's see. Come on, can I find somebody? Oh, there's some. Please don't kill me from behind. Let's go, let's go. 3, come on. All right, we need 50 points to win. One last kill. Here we go. But yeah, that was pretty much for this game test. Hope you guys really enjoyed. Honestly, this phone amazes me for the price of the phone, and it's pretty good in my opinion. But yeah, let's go on into the conclusion. Alright guys, in conclusion, honestly, I thought this phone was pretty good for the price of $399. Definitely go ahead. I definitely do recommend you picking up this phone because all the specs that it brings, the A13 Bionic chip that you do, I mean, if you want better cameras, go ahead and buy the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but the A13 Bionic chip is definitely pretty good in my opinion. And now the price definitely doesn't have a 3.5mm headphone jack. That's again one of the downsides, and it only has a 4.7-inch screen. Again, remember, you guys can join the giveaway of this phone by just subscribing to my channel, subscribing to my dad's channel, and subscribing to my friend's channel. All those links will be in the description for you to enter the giveaway. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.